In a sun-washed village nestled between dusty hills lived a 10-year-old girl named Gul Meena. She had 4 brothers, loud, fearless, and free. Every evening, they raced each other to the village playground, barefoot and breathless, while Gul Meena sat behind the courtyard curtain, her little fingers tracing the edges of a storybook she wasn't allowed to read out loud. She used to run with them once, but on her 10th birthday, her mother folded away her childhood with her old shalwar, braided her hair tight, and said softly, "You're a young lady now, no more playing outside." Her brothers didn't even notice. Gul Meena stayed inside. She helped with chores, served tea to guests, and lowered her gaze, just as she'd been taught. But when the sun dipped low and the house grew quiet, she'd press her ear to the open window and listen to the boys laughing in the street. It ached, but she didn't complain. Instead, she found her freedom in books. She read whatever she could find, faded textbooks left behind by cousins. She scribbled notes on scraps of newspaper, solved math problems in the dirt. Whenever she asked to go to school, the answer was always the same. "Girls don't need to study this much. You'll get married soon." Each time she nodded, each time she cried, but only into her pillow. And every night she studied harder under the dim glow of a lantern. One day, her father stumbled upon a stack of carefully written pages beneath her bedding, hand-drawn diagrams of human anatomy, essays about illness and care, and spelling lists in English and Pashto. He sat silently, but the next morning, something changed. Instead of calling her into the kitchen, he called her by the window and gently placed something into her hands, a school scholarship form. Her fingers shook as she held it. She looked up at him, eyes wide. He simply said, "You were born for more than these walls, Gul Meena." She cried with her arms around him. Years passed. Gul Meena walked to school in a navy uniform and white scarf, ignoring the boys who laughed and the women who whispered. She studied through storms, hunger, and loneliness. She didn't stop. She became the first girl from her village to attend medical college. She didn't just pass. She graduated with honors, earning the title Dr. Gul Meena. At her graduation ceremony, she stood tall in her white coat, stethoscope gleaming, as her mother watched from the crowd. But Gul Meena wasn't done. She returned to the same village that once held her back and opened a health clinic for women and children. People lined up for hours just to be seen by the girl behind the curtain, who was now the woman leading the village forward. When asked what inspired her most, she smiled gently and said, "Every time they told me no, my heart whispered yes louder, not just for me, but for every girl still waiting behind the curtain."